All right, back again. I'm wealthy beyond measure. Within me is the greatest treasure. Uh, we're going to talk about some feel-good stuff. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to focus on your affirmations and continue to believe in yourself when you're constantly bombarded with negative thoughts and energy. So I'm going to talk about a few things today. First thing is potential. First thing is potential, right? Potential is not a set of car keys. You don't lose potential. So, and really, the only way you can waste your potential is if you're putting your energy into the wrong things. So the moment you shift to a high positive vibration and start doing good things for yourself, you reclaim that, right? And a little bit about myself and my story. Look, I have. Oh, there's my hawk. Look at this. Look at this. You see that? You see him up there? This guy follows me everywhere I go. Oh, there he is. Holy cow. That's crazy. He's gorgeous. Oh, wow. Hi, brother. Oh, man. Totally. Train of thought just left the station. Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to start over, maybe. I apologize. It's just... makes me... grabs my heart when that happens. Okay, a little bit about myself. All right? Now remember, it's important not to dwell on the past because you're living there, you're time traveling, because your brain does not know the difference between a thought, a memory, and what's happening in real life. So I have an extremely checkered past, right? I struggle with addiction most of my life. I like to say sometimes, I don't like to say, I say sometimes that I have been high longer, for more years of my life than I've ever been sober. And that's the truth. However, I'm sure that's the truth with a lot of people. I battled heroin addiction. I won, you know what I mean? Alcoholism when I was very young, by very young I mean like high school. Smoked pot when I was very young. Was on Adderall for years and years when I was a kid until I got tired. I didn't like the way it made me feel, so I would sell it and buy pot. But all of these things were just this huge distraction, and instead of looking at anything else, it was easier for me to not pay attention to anything else in the world, because I was like angry. I've always had this feeling like, well, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to partake in any of this crap, because it doesn't have to be this way. It's not going to be like, it shouldn't be like this. It should not be like this. It shouldn't be, every day shouldn't be like every day you go to work or put yourself, it shouldn't be an energy harvest. You know what I mean? It can't be. And so that anger and frustration towards the powers that were, held me back from finding my true nature, right? Now, at the same time, it was in my own way, in the form of addiction. But I said that to say this. All of these things in my past, all of these huge hurdles, right, were me reclaiming my potential, right? The universe, I always knew that I was going to win the lottery, so to speak. And that comes in many forms, right? But I always knew that at some point, I was going to have an opportunity to reach the masses, to share my story, to help people, and things of that nature, right? Teach people the magic of manifestation. But the universe wasn't going to give me $1 million when I was, shooting up grams of heroin. I had a hard enough time staying alive as it was. I can't. I've died at least 5 times, at least. You can't claim the prize until you first reclaim your potential, right? And again, potential is the idea of potential is like an allegory for your spirit, your purpose, your soul, maybe, depending on how far you've gone, But yeah, I always knew there was something, I always knew I didn't fit in, and I was cool with it, I always knew that I had the ability to walk into a room, take the temperature, and that was the best part about going to work. I didn't care about money. It was crap, But what I enjoyed doing was walking in, and the moment I walk in the door, Timmy, hi, and then it started, It's just, hi, how are you? You know what I mean? Cracking jokes, going back and forth. Hey, let me get that for you. And I'm a million miles an hour, And before this shift, that was okay. It was cool. It was cool to be me, and and now it's like, it feels like people look at me so differently, with they have that same thing, oh my gosh, yeah, duh, of course it is. It's Chip. He's, but people look at me much, much differently. You know what I mean? They see that there's a few, they look at me as a come up or whatever, and that's fine. I'll help anybody. I want to help everyone. I'm here to help everybody, and it would be much easier if people would just lend a hand. You know what I mean? Not like I don't want a handout, but it's if I saw an alien, a big ball of light, if I saw somebody walking around like that, lost, in a heartbeat, hey, come here, man. Listen, come here. Has anybody told you what you are? Is anybody? Do you know who you are? Do you know what you are? Okay, look, you can do anything, and I know people have been telling you this your whole life. Oh, you can be anything you want. Well, they weren't lying. They weren't lying. Take an opportunity to look back in your lives, right? And think about all those times maybe you fell short, or you kept making the same mistake, or you lost a job for the same reason, or any of those things where perhaps some of the people in your life may have been disappointed, right? And what did they say? Oh my gosh, you can do anything. What are you doing? You're wasting your potential. You're not living up to what you truly are. And I know for me, I was like, oh yeah, cool. Well, you just tell everybody. Everyone tells everybody that because you're supposed to say that to kids. Well, that's right. You should say that to kids. Absolutely. But the scope and magnitude in which they meant that was far exceeded any expectations I might have had for what they were talking about, And I spent a lot of time, instead of focusing on my purpose, I spent more time thinking about, how difficult it might be to get there. How am I going to get there? And I was trying to explain manifestation and creation to somebody that's very, very logical, right? And it's okay to be logical. You have to, logic gets you a certain place, but once you're in tune with the spiritual world and the subtle energies, it bends those rules of logic, right? Things, the normal way in which you might go about getting something changes when you realize that the power of intention and manifestation and affirmations, all these things, the words you say, the spells that come out of your mouth, play a huge part in that outcome. So it kind of changes the path in which you take. So I think about it like this. If you've got so you've got your goal in mind, right? You want to sell t-shirts, okay? You want to make a t-shirt company, okay? So you've got that on one end, and then on the under, you write this on a piece of paper, okay? On the other end, you have what you hope to create from that, right? And so everything in between is kind of irrelevant at this point, because once you set that in motion, once you set that intention, it's only a matter of time before it happens. Now, the law of attraction, the key word in attraction is action. So you have to do something, right? You have to do these things, but those subtle energies that you're putting in. So you want to have t-shirts, okay? And this is where you're at. So some of the things that fill in that gap are, I need to save up a couple $100. I need a way to sell these things. Now, then you come up with a couple of just simple ideas, like, okay, I can put them on a YouTube channel. I could sell them to family and friends. I could start wearing them around to games and stuff like that, and you're like a walking billboard. Like, people are staring at you anyways, and they want to know stuff anyways. So if you're going around wearing a shirt that has got your YouTube plug on it or something, they're going to want to know. Like, so you put those few things in between. So you put in, like, okay, I'm going to put them on my channel. I'm going to wear them at games. These are the actions. These are the physical actions I'm going to take. Now, in between those actions, you need to be in a constant state of growth. So by that I mean you're taking in information. Okay, so these are my shirts. I made 3 shirts. I've got this many of them. I've got this much invested. These are the things I'm going to charge for it. I'm going to pay attention to what people say, right? I'm going to pay attention to people's reactions to these shirts, and you take in that feedback and you do something with it. So if someone reacts to one of your shirts and they say, like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, that's great, it'd be really cool if it had this on it. Okay, now don't just listen to what anybody says, right? But you take that information, right, and then you run it by another group of people, and just those things, you're interacting with your dream, with your idea, this whole time. So when you're constantly keeping your mind on those things and how you're going to make it better and how you're going to change it, that you're interacting with that dream, and thus all of your energy is going into that one thing, and you don't even realize it. Okay, so it might seem a little bit obsessive, but the more intention and energy you spend on thinking about these things, the faster they're going to manifest, the more it's going to grow. Like, that's what I meant by a constant state of growth. By thinking about these things and running by new ideas and taking in new information concerning your dream, you're fueling that fire. I don't know how. And these things are so simple. But I believe that, at least for me, it was hard for me to find a practical things to do on the daily that apply to this, right? And it's like, once you got a clean slate, but it's like, okay, now where do I go? I've never done this before. I have all this potential, but I don't know how to do it, right? I'm not grounded enough or whatever. So anyways, I believe in you. I do. I believe you're worth every penny. I believe that these things that are in your heart, these things that haunt you, I believe that you were here for that purpose. And you can't go anywhere until you fulfill that purpose. Okay? Take it from me, man. They won't let me check out. Ain't no giving up in this game. I mean, so anyways, man, I try really hard to keep a positive mindset, but I'm always bombarded with stuff. Now, I'll tell you how this negativity is manifested in my life, right? So my girl, she cheated on me, and she's got this problem where when she'll lie when the truth is easier, right? But on paper, she appears to be the sweetest, greatest, and her actions, you know what I mean? Her actions in the past have reflected that unwavering love. However, there's another side to that coin, right? And so all of my pain and anguish manifested in that trauma that she kind of put me through. And it's just a big revolving door, a big time loop. And so I'm on my way out of that loop, because people are going to be who they want to be, and you know, they're on a different journey too. So my relationship advice to myself is to not give that any attention. Don't give it any attention. Now, you might get a little resistance at first, like, oh, now you just ignore me, now you just, Well, look, I'm doing the things that I need to do, and, you know, I'm not obligated in any way to take on any malicious energy or any vampiric activity, you know what I mean? And just because you say it's not happening, right? I don't have to believe you, because when you were cheating on me, you kept saying it's not happening, but it was. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm learning from that mistake for sure. I don't have to believe anything that you say, and my intuition is spot on all the time. So, you're not going to convince me any different. That's how you should approach it. But at the same time, just remember, don't react in a negative way. You know what I mean? Put as little in it put as little amount of energy and emotion and intention and thought that you can. And by that I mean, don't let it turn into an argument. You know what I mean? Don't let it turn, because you're giving them what they want. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't give them what they want. Don't be what they want. Be unapologetically you. Bent, not broken. Burnt, still smoking. Laughing, but not joking. Alright, I'm going to get off here. I'll catch you guys next time. I appreciate all the love and support, and if any of these resonate with you in any way, and you still have loved ones out there that you want to help, and you think that these might help them in some way, or you know that somebody's gone through some of this stuff, please share. And if you have anything to say about these things, please ask me. Please, someone ask me questions. Please, I'm here for you. I've got you. All right? I love you all more than you could ever know. All right? Shine bright.